You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, and we are going to just jump right into it. Guys, we're going right into the holiday season, and before we jump into it too far, too fast, too soon, I wanted to just wish you guys a happy holiday season and Merry Christmas to all of you guys that are listening into the podcast real time. You know, right now the podcast is performing really, really well, but I'm noticing the downloads and the listens slow down a little bit because we're all going into the holiday season, and let's just be honest, we're not working as much. Everybody's kind of hanging out, kind of low key, working out, doing the holiday shopping, friends, family, as you should be. So any which way, I want to say a big thank you to all of you guys that are still listening to the show, powering through with us through winter. Right now we haven't had any snow up here, so we're doing what you guys are doing. For most of us, we're just chilling out behind the scenes, working on a bunch of stuff for our business, also for you guys with YouTube. And, but at the same point, some of you guys are still out there. You guys are plowing snow. Some of you guys down south are still mowing. So we're making the podcast, available to you guys still, all for the next couple weeks. But here's the deal. I will tell you guys a quick little note, and Marty, Mr. Producer, will probably cover this a little bit here again in the announcements. But we're going to take just a week off with the podcast. We've been going hard. I'm going to recharge, recuperate a little bit. And frankly, I just want to take a week off. I want to relax a little bit, spend some time with my family, and do what I just said that a lot of you guys are doing as well. And you know what? This next week coming up for the holiday season, not too much going on, right? If you guys want to go back and listen to some older shows and episodes, if you want to, keep up with the podcast, I encourage you to do that. But we will jump right back on here the first Monday after the holiday season. I think that is the 28th of December. So in today's episode, I did want to leave you with some great content that I can give you guys, something to think about and mull over as we go into the last few days of the year, which is going to actually relate into 2021 and beyond, how we can go into spring and start working on our business this whole winter. So I'm going to give you guys 3 different tips that I think can help you guys stand out with your business in 2021. And that's what I'm going to be talking about here in just a quick second. All right, well, let's do this really quick. We've got the bills to pay. You guys always love hearing from the show sponsors. A lot of the sponsors are some of the companies that you guys work with, which is really exciting. So let's do this. Let's kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to give you guys all the latest and greatest for the show. Hopefully, if he wants to chime in a little bit, wish you guys a warm, happy holiday season as well. We'll leave it up to him. But you know what? Always appreciate Marty bringing you guys the show Monday, Wednesday, Friday without fail. So let's kick it over to him and we'll come right on back.
Yeah, have a Merry Christmas. I know that doesn't sound warm and friendly and fuzzy. In fact, my wife's not even here right now, and I can see her giving me the stink eye. Hi, this is Marty, producer of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Brian, Liz, and our entire team wish you a very happy Christmas and holiday season. We know this past year's been very difficult for you, and we pray that this coming year brings more certain times for your family. Sending all of our love and good wishes for better days ahead. Hey, did I pass the audition? There's your warm and fuzzy. Hey, one of the amazing things about the lawn care community is just the spirit of cooperation that exists within it. We were grateful to Britt Dowd for helping to publicize Lawntrepreneur Academy Live on his podcast, and we wanted to take a moment and highlight a contest that he has going on and encourage you at the end of our show today to check out his Lawn Care Leaders podcast. Britt Dowd is no stranger to the lawn care industry. He's the owner of a fast-growing 7-figure lawn care business in the Midwest and host of the Lawn Care Leaders podcast, featuring lively discussions and deep dives into the lives of successful business owners all across the green industry spectrum. These conversations provide action steps on how to improve your business, personal life, spiritual, and physical well-being. When you subscribe to the Lawn Care Leaders podcast and leave a 5-star review with your Instagram handle in the review, you're qualified to win the Lawn Care Leaders Appreciation Package. This comes loaded with swag from Jobber, free shoes by Cujo, and a safety pack courtesy of Ballard Products. Now, if you can't leave a review at Apple Podcasts, just screenshot the app that you're listening on, post it to IG with the hashtag Lawn Care Leaders Podcast, and you'll automatically be entered for a chance to win. More details available on the Lawn Care Leaders Podcast with Britt Dowd.
For those of you guys interested in breaking into the snow removal game, this one's for you. Now available exclusively at the lawntrepreneur.academy.com. We've got you covered with the How to Get Started Plowing Snow training program. This powerful resource is there to help you guys learn the basics to plowing snow, what to charge, major pitfalls and mistakes to avoid, and so much more. Hands down, one of the most anticipated and helpful training programs we have available. We'll get you up to speed on how to crush it with your snow removal business in no time. Check out the training program today at lawntrepreneur.academy.com, because before you know it, we'll be out there plowing that snow and making that dough.
Whatever your activity, whatever your passion, whatever you're doing, stay warm doing it with Brian's 10 partner, VoltHeat.com. Save 10% and manage your thermal comfort regardless of the temperature. That's VoltHeat.com. And now back to Brian.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, we are here and we are going to be coming at you here talking to you about 3 tips that you guys can do to help your business stand out as we go into the 2021 season. Now, this little couple notes that I wrote down is actually inspired by Henrik, who is a gentleman that listens to the podcast. He watches the YouTube videos. We actually did a coaching call, and Henrik and his friend came up to Lawntrepreneur Academy Live, and he actually bought the whole ball of wax. He's 14 years old, and he goes, you know what, Brian, I want to invest in my future. I want to invest in my education, and I want to invest in my business. He's 14. By the time he's 16, he'll be able to pay cash for a 3,500 diesel dump truck, Chevy 3,500. Okay, this kid's making money. He's kicking butt. Super proud of him. Some of you guys are like, are you selling training programs to 14 and 16-year-old kids? Well, that's not exactly who they're designed for. But I'll tell you what, a lot of the 15, 16, 18-year-old kids, they have no fear. They're kicking butt, and they've got more cash in their pocket than most 30-year-olds I know, doing what we're all doing and applying what we're teaching to their business and their life. And they are chasing this thing down like a dog on a bone, which is crazy. So it's not necessarily the training programs are designed for you younger guys, but here's what I will say. If you guys are younger, you can put yourself in such a position to win that it's not even funny by the time you're 18, 20, 25 years old, that most 30 and 35-year-old folks don't even come to their senses about until later in life. What I'm trying to say is Christian Schlegel is 18 years old, has a couple $100,000 a year business, paid cash for a F450 dump truck, and he is in a league of his own and just crushing it out there. And I will tell you what, Christian is not the exception. Okay, Christian is the new normal that I'm going to call it for you young hustlers out there, you young entrepreneurs. So listen up, because we got some great content that is going to help you guys specifically. But you know what? Listening to these next couple topics that I'm going to lay out here, just really short and sweet, I think they can help anyone going into 2021. And you know what? It always comes back to the blocking and tackling, the grassroots efforts to make your business grow. So here's what I wrote down. 3 things to help your business stand out as we go into 2021. The first one we're going to talk about is marketing. The second one we're going to talk about is mastering the phone. And the third one is doing good work. Okay. We're going to keep it short and sweet, super simple. And I want this to resonate into your brain as you guys decide to work on your business in the off season. We were just talking about that on a couple episodes ago, that the folks that work on their business in the off season right now are going to have the most success going into spring. Okay. There's not enough time to catch the wave as it's already upon you. You have to be paddling, riding that surfboard. And then once the wave hits you, boom, you hop up, you pop up, and you're able to ride that surfboard. You're able to ride that wave all through spring, summer, and fall. Okay. So number one, this is, again, inspired by Henrik. He said, what are some of your biggest tips that can help me stand out as I go into 2021? Now, here's the deal. He is a younger guy, and he is 14 years old, turning 15, and he is looking to position his company in a position to win going into next season. He is actually in a couple different new subdivisions, a new part of town. He's got a lot of great things going on. And he said, what can I do to stand out? Because where I'm at is very saturated. There's a lot of companies that do work. Very typical conversation that a lot of us deal with, right? And I said, well, Henrik, the first thing I can help you is with your marketing. And we were starting to talk back and forth about marketing for about 20 minutes. And he sent me his flyer that he had made up on his own, just like a paper flyer, document, like on Word or whatnot, and or maybe Photoshop, but did a great job with it. And I said, hey, Henrik, right now, your business name is, Henrik, like the lawn kid. It's like the lawn boy, or something like that. It's really simple. It's really fun. It's really cool. But him and I, we were talking about upgrading his name, upgrading his presence, upgrading his image. And you guys heard me talk about this a couple other times on other episodes. But I said, are you like married to that name, or are you, entertaining the idea of upgrading that name to you going to the next level, right? So he actually told me that he had started his business as he was younger, common story with a lot of us. And it was, Brian's Lawn Care, or, Brian's Lawn Maintenance, or Henrik the Lawn Kid, right? Well, that name is totally cool and fine because that's what you come up with at that mentality of a 7 to 12, 13-year-old kid, right? And maybe you're 25, 28 years old. Don't let the age thing, fool you. A lot of us get started and we're like, Tom's Lawn Care. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, we're going to talk about this till we're blue in the face because we want to see you guys succeed. And to succeed, we got to market. And why do we market? To get the phone to ring. And when we get the phone to ring, we answer the phone and then we go do good work, okay? So what I was telling Henrik here is, what about the name? Are you open to upgrading the name? I gave him some suggestions about going to the Michigan Corporations Division website where you can search like on their database to see if the name's already taken. I said, register the DBA, register an LLC, have your parents help you out with this, have them register the name, whatever you got to do to secure the name. Start thinking long term. I said, where do you want your business to be in 5 years, 10 years? And he was like getting really excited, and we were just having a very mature conversation for a 14 going on 15-year-old kid. And I said, just like on episode, I think it was like 90s or 94, talking about 3 things I would do all over again with my business. The first one was the name, right? Because you've heard me talk about this at length. I said, instead of it being Henrik the Lawn Boy, I said, maybe it can be, he's in a different county in a different city. But I said, it can be like, Pinnacle Landscaping or Premier Lawn and Landscape. And we were just getting the wheels turning. And I said, and here's the reason why. The marketing, you guys have heard me say, is the equalizer, right? I said, right now you're the 14-year-old kid, but when you put a flyer or a postcard on somebody's door that looks next level and the name sounds next level, they're not going to know that you're 14 years old, right? And a lot of you guys that are younger, and that doesn't even mean, 14, 15, 18. It could mean if you're 25. You're younger and you're like, I don't have any business experience. People don't want to do work with me because I'm younger. And that's just not the truth. That's just not the case. You might have to try a little bit harder. But, I see Jared Krause out there. I see the Carson Shifskys, the Christian Schlegels, all these different guys out there, Evans Landscape, and they have customers writing them $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 checks all the time. I said, the first thing we got to do is upgrade from the paper flyer. And, and everybody's budget's different, so I'm not trying to be insensitive. But I said, maybe over the next couple of months, upgrade the name and then upgrade your marketing. So now you have this great postcard and this great image. And his biggest concern was he's going to be in these different subdivisions in a new part of town that's very saturated with other big lawn and landscape companies. He goes, how can I compete with that? And I said, dude, that's an awesome question. I mean, gosh, like that kind of a question from a 14-year-old just speaks volumes about this kid's determination and commitment to being successful. And I said, I wasn't even asking questions like that until I was like my late 20s, But I said, if you're a customer and you're in this wealthier part of town, that's just about 45 minutes southwest of me, it's a bigger city. And I said, there's a lot of healthcare workers, a lot of education folks, teachers, doctors, nurses, that kind of age group. And they're living in $600,000, $700,000 home value homes. I said, who's got the better chance of getting a phone call from that client? If they're a doctor and a nurse or an educator and a doctor, and they got a nice home, do you think they're going to call the 14-year-old lawn boy, or are they going to call the Premier Lawn and Landscape Company or Pinnacle Lawn and Landscape or whatever, right? And again, it's not an indictment on your name, relax, because I got Brian's Lawn Maintenance. It works just fine. We do a couple $100,000 a year where, life goes on. But we're just talking ideas. Maybe your business is in its infancy, first year, second year, third year. Maybe you're younger and you outgrew the name. Maybe you're 25 and it was Bob's Landscaping, but now you want to go with, Bob Smith Lawn and Landscape or some other more next level name. That's totally fine. You can make those moves and make those decisions now because that's what you do in the off season. In the summer, none of us have time for that. I mean, you do, but we're busy quoting and landscaping and working and trying to stay healthy, all this kind of stuff, right? So I said, why don't you work on your name? And then why don't you work on your marketing? And that way, when you drop off a postcard, nobody knows that you're the 14-year-old kid, right? They might think you're the 35-year-old guy who's been in the industry for 15 years. And that takes us right to number 2. Answer the phone. I said the goal of passing out marketing isn't to pass out marketing. The goal for marketing is to get the phone to ring, to get the interception. That person, that customer out there is interested. They're going to call somebody. You need to make sure that phone call comes to you. I was listening to an episode of Paul Jameson's podcast. I don't know, this is probably a month or 2 ago. And he had said that he had really good SEO with his website and a bunch of great Google reviews. And Paul had a bunch of great clients that he was able to pick up because Paul was ranking in the top 2, top 3 of the city and the county that he was doing work in. And so for Paul, his marketing, his SEO was his equalizer because they didn't know Paul from Adam. They didn't know the next guy over from Adam. They didn't know who was who. It was just who could get the call and who could return the call. So I told Henrik, I said, great question. Let's continue with this evolution. I said, now that you got great marketing and you're able to pass that stuff out, where you can succeed and where you can shine is by answering the phone, returning phone calls, and being cordial and being on top of things like none of your competition. Because I'll be honest with you, even though it's the green industry, even though everybody sounds like they're really motivated, a lot of folks are lazy. They're lazy as hell. And I said, you know what you can do? You can pick up the phone and you can take those calls. I said, the next guy's going to go over there and bid a quote in the next day or 2. You do it the same day. The next guy's going to return the phone call the next day. You return it the same day. You know what I mean? Your next guy is going to give a quote in the next couple hours. You give it over the phone because you're looking them up on Google Earth and you can hit satellite view. You can hit street view. You're in the same subdivision anyway. You already do 6 in there out of 90 homes. You know it's within plus or minus $5, whether they're not, they got 2 extra trees or a trampoline or an extra bed, landscape bed. If they're a corner lot, etc., and you add a $5 or $10 premium. I said, have a base rate, figure it already out. That way, when that customer calls you, you can already quote over the phone, and in less than 5 minutes, you can already sign that person up. I said, so what you can do to separate yourself and give yourself the best position to win in 2021, number 1 is great marketing. Number 2 is being extremely responsive on the phone. I'm telling you guys what, let me ask you out loud. And we're just shooting it here, just off the script. Let me ask you this. If you reach out to a company and they don't email you back in, 2 to 3 hours, do you not get frustrated in 2020, 2021? If you're going on a website and they don't have a live chat feature and you're not able to get in touch with somebody, how quickly are you off that website? I mean, if you have a live chat feature on a website and it says, we'll get back to you, you're in queue number 18, your 18th position in the queue. How long are you staying on that website? Not very long, right? This happens all the time. I was spending like a couple $1,000 on a camera lens and I was 18 in the queue. I went to this other website. I was 3rd in the queue. Still took 5 minutes. But which website do you think I went with? Well, Brian, that's the holidays. You can't really make that kind of comparison. Like they were 18 deep. Maybe somebody called off. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe it's not my problem. And that company lost out on a $2,300 camera lens sale, right? We got to be quick. You go on Facebook, Marketplace, or maybe not Marketplace, but Facebook, and you start looking up like the company's web presence on social media or on Facebook. And it says like typically responds within 2 to 3 days, typically responds in 2 to 3 hours, very responsive. You guys get these on your guys' Facebook pages. I got them on mine. If somebody's not very responsive, I don't even bother calling because I'm not even going to get an answer, right? I call my credit union. If I get past the 3 different people, I already hang up. If I call my insurance agent and I get past the 3 different people, I already hang up. I'm like, dude, I don't got time for this. Like people are busy. And just be quick, be short, be to the point, right? I mean, tell them your life story, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Just give them the highlights. They want service, sign them up. So what I'm trying to say is where you can shine in 2021 is having impeccable customer service. Okay, impeccable customer service. Not only do you got to get them, but then you got to keep them. Okay. When people call, pick up. When somebody shoots you a text message, don't get back to them in 3 days. Okay. Some of you guys do a lot with social media. Answer your dang DMs. I cannot believe that some people take more than 24 to 40 hours. Oh, well, I don't understand. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If your customers are DMing you or your followers are DMing you, you guys get Facebook messengers. Yeah, sorry, I just wasn't able to get on my DMs. Okay. You need to make that a routine part of your customer service strategy. Okay, there's literally no excuse to not get back with somebody in 2021 in 4 to 6 hours on any platform for any reason. And if that stuff is not getting answered, figure out a solution to hire it out to make sure that it gets paid attention to. Because if it doesn't get paid attention to, somebody else is going to pay attention to your customer, and they're going to be the ones that gets the work. And I'm telling this, I'm talking like an adult to a young man who's becoming an adult. He's 14, he's kicking butt, making money. Kid just bought a 2016 Skag Turf Tiger 2 for like $8,000. I mean, the kid's kicking butt. These young guys out there, man, they're hustling. They take the podcast and they take the info and they don't start weighing it out. They don't start debating. They don't start hem and hawing. You know what they do? They go on their computer right away and they start designing a new postcard. They go right on their computer right away. They download the $25 commercial contract and put in 4 quotes. And they don't go, well, I put in 1 quote and I didn't get it. Now I'm upset and I don't know if this industry is going to work for me. They don't think that way. They're young bucks. They're kicking butt and they just go all in. And they're like, you know what? If that guy doesn't get back with me, screw it. I'm going to go pass out another 5,000 postcards. And they're just hungry for it. And, maybe that's a secret ingredient number 4 on this whole talk is have some tenacity, have some hunger, Don't be coasting, man. Let's put the pedal to the metal. Okay. As we have great marketing, that's the equalizer. Okay. Doesn't matter if you're 14 or 44, man. Anybody can play in the big boy leagues with a couple $100 postcard. We've got 4 templates already available. And January 1st, we have 10 more postcards and door hanger templates becoming available. Okay, it's the first time I've mentioned it. All whole ball of wax purchasers are get all those upgrades for free. And they're going to be freaking incredible. It doesn't matter what part of the industry you're in. We're going to have a postcard and template for you to help you literally have plug and play resources to take your marketing to the next level. We are going all in 21 for our business, your business. We've been laying the foundation for the last 2-3 years. Time to smoke this thing. Okay. The last thing I'm going to say is number 3, after you have good customer service is do good work. Okay. I feel like this one should be a no-brainer. This should be the ante. This should be an automatic, but it's crazy because Henrik goes, well, how can I differentiate myself? I said, number 1, have good marketing. Number 2, have great customer service. Number 3, do good work. Actually show up. Actually do good work. Actually care about the property. Actually go around back and blow off the patio and the windowsills and the basement windows. All this different stuff. Actually care. If they have the trash buckets at the end of the driveway, take them up front. If they got a newspaper at the end of the driveway, don't just blow it into the grass after you do the cut, trim, edge, and blow. Take the stupid newspaper and go put it on their front door. Don't walk it up to the front door and then chuck it 25 feet and, smack it into a house plant. Walk up there and drop it. You know why? Because everybody's got a Ring doorbell. And if the customer doesn't have a Ring doorbell, the neighbor across the street has a Ring doorbell or a security camera, and you're not going to get them to hire you because why? Because you look like you don't care by throwing somebody's newspaper 25 feet. Well, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. You know what? You're right. Not the way you're building your business. Raise your rates, take the pressure off, be not in such a rush to get done, be in such an urgency to do a good job. And if you do a good job, you can charge appropriately and you don't have to be running around all helter-skelter. That was something that I had learned, period, case closed, last 5 years. We were doing hundreds of lawns for $20. Now we do a lot less lawns for 30, 34s. And next year, we're going to do a couple less lawns for 34, 37s, and 42s, which is a great price. One of my buddies, Brett, listens to the show, and he's always like, man, people just don't understand like our pricing versus some of your guys' pricing. I'm like, I know. I hear it all the time. Raise your prices. I'm raising my prices too, but I'm telling you, like, there's a certain market price for our lawns over this area. And I've been pushing the envelope, and, we're doing the best we can to raise prices too. But some of you guys, you get $70 for a cut. I wish, but then you always get, you guys get $50 for a yard installed of mulch or whatever. Over here, we get like $125 a yard installed of mulch, but then we get, $30 for a cut. And $30 is like a crazy good rate over here. I'm telling you guys what, But any which way, all my guys and all my buddies in the area, we're all banding together to bring this whole community and region up in pricing because it's been flat for 20 years. You know what I mean? So I'm doing my part to help raise the rates and make more money for all of us, just like you guys are. So we're all in it together, right? But this last thing I told Henrik is, you know what, dude? Do good work. Do a great job. He goes, well, don't all the other companies do a good job? I go, you would think, but the reality is, in such a simple industry as ours, very few people are doing great work. They just don't care. They don't care. Their attitude stinks. Their attitude is sour. They're not in the growth mode. And if you're not in the growth mode, you're in the dying mode, because in nature, you're only growing or you're dying. You're only ripe for a few days. Okay, so you get around somebody, you can tell really quick, are they positive or are they negative? Are they givers or are they takers? Are they growing or are they dying? And you know what? I said, Henrik, you're 14, going on 15, going on 35. I said, you're a butt kicker, you're growing. And he was so motivated. He was so excited. And I told this on the last podcast. I said, I can't steer a parked jet ski. I can't steer a jet ski that's not moving forward. Nobody can steer a parked car. And he is moving forward, going super fast. And I'm like, let's dodge and weave. Let's put the GPS on. Let's land the plane, whatever you guys want, analogy you want to call it. Let's keep helping you, steer and get to where you need to go. But you know what? If you're not excited and you're just kind of hemming and hawing and you're kind of bummed, it's tough. I've been there, but start gaining some momentum. Start with some little wins and start getting that momentum that we've talked about on previous podcasts. Okay. So really short and sweet. That's pretty much what I got for you on today's episode. You want to separate yourself in 2021, have great marketing, have great customer service. And then number 3, do good work. And by the way, outwork everybody. And then do it in a positive attitude, go the extra mile, smile, wave, nod, take care of people. It's not really anything super fancy of an industry. It's the same blocking and tackling every single year. But you know what? If you guys want to separate yourself and do something that a lot of folks aren't doing, again, let me ask you this. How many people, when you call them right now, even pick up the phone? How many people that you call even do good work? I mean, honestly, how many people, when you get a postcard or a flyer in the mail or an advertisement, you're like, who wrote that? Who made that? Who did that? It looks really amateurish, right? Well, again, you want to be the business that you want to be in 5 or 10 years. Start thinking like a big business and you'll have a big company, okay? The last thing I'm going to say is, and I told Henrik, this was a little bonus. I said, be passionate, be excited. I'd rather have, this is an old saying, rather have ignorance on fire than knowledge on ice. Who do you think is going to get the business? A 14, 15-year-old excited kid or 20-year-old excited guy, 25-year-old excited guy who's just passionate to earn the business? Or the 30-year-old know-it-all who's like, no, I'll take care of this. Nope, we'll take care of that. Well, we really should do a 6-round application instead of 5 because you got knowledge. And you know what? That's not going to get anybody excited. It's not going to get the needle moved, right? So there is something to be said about having some excitement, having some energy about you, okay? That's the last thing I told him is, dude, just be a butt-kicking, fire-breathing young man out there. Sell. Tell your story. Communicate with these customers. Earn their business. Fight like hell. That's what you want to do. And you know what? Don't get lazy. Don't get soft. Okay? You got to be hungry out there. And some people are like, I am hungry. And I'm like, oh my God. I can't deal with that kind of stuff. Okay? Here's what I also tell you. Whatever amount of money you were thinking about making next year, double it. Because that's what you're going to really need. A lot of us sell ourselves short with how much time or how much money we think things are going to take or cost or whatever. I'm going to be building my home next year. I already know there's going to be delays in the time and extra expenses in the cost. They say building a home, custom home, it's going to take 10% longer and 10% more money. Well, when you're building a home like I plan to build, a 10% margin of error is a lot of money. So what do I plan to do next year? Well, if I make this amount of money, I'm sure it'll take care of everything. Good. Now I need to go make double that. And I'm just being serious. That's my motivation. Okay. I'm not saying 10x, and if you want 10x, God bless. But I am saying, dude, get motivated. Whatever you need to make, go make a goal for double that. Okay. That's the safe bet. Because you know what? What do they say? If you wind up aiming for the stars, at least you'll fall on the moon. I don't know the saying, man. You guys know the saying. All right. That's what I got. That's my cheesy little sign off. Hey, you know what? In all sincerity, Love you guys. Appreciate you guys so much. It's been a crazy, crazy fun year. 2020 is going to go down as the craziest year in history for my business, probably ever. And same thing for all of you guys, okay? Here's what I will say. We are going into the holidays. I've never been more excited. We just went to Bronner's. It is the Christmas Wonderland store. I don't know how big the store is. It's got to be a couple 100,000 square feet under roof. Don't quote me on that, but they are I think the world's biggest Christmas store just an hour north of us. And it is such a fun place to visit. If you guys are within a couple hours, it's actually worth the trip. Okay, make a day trip out of it. Go to the Bavarian Inn, I think it is, or Zender's. We did the Zender's chicken dinner. Such a good time. Okay, we bought a whole new nativity scene because we are going to have that for our future home and all this fun stuff. And it was just a really, really good time. Okay, guys, here, can I give you a little pro tip? If you're within an hour and a half, take your girl, take your spouse, take your wife. Such a good time. Brownie points times 5,000. Okay, they're actually a 3x. You know, when you're there, it's a multiplier. Just telling you, a little secret there. It's a good time, and honestly, I do have a good time because there's about 80,000 different ornaments that you can find there, and there's something for everybody. Okay, but that's what we did. Okay, we did the holiday thing. We're doing a little shopping thing, and all next week we're going to be spending time with family. And you know what? To be honest with you, I want to be spending time with my family. I want to be focused on that. So for all of you guys that want to keep listening to the show regularly, we super appreciate the support. Check out some older podcasts and some older episodes. I'll tell you what, if you grew year over year and month over month, you know what? Go back through some of the episodes. You might be shocked to realize that some of the content that you've already listened to, when you listen to it a second time, it might stand out differently. You know why? Because when you grow, you're going to go back and hear old content, and because you're at a different level, you're going to pull different things out of that same speech, that same talk, that same podcast. So quick little tip there. Don't just, swear off all the old episodes. Oh, Brian, I'm on episode 135 with you out of 135. Hey, dude, I get it. But you know what? I'll give you some encouragement. Go all the way back to the beginning and go all the way back through the whole playlist, right? Don't just be coasting into these things, man. Let's not get soft, okay? Let's make sure that we're focused. Go back through the podcast. Start listening to some old episodes. You might be shocked at some of the nuggets that are in there that you didn't catch the first time. But because you're at a different level, some of those nuggets kind of pop out at you and you go, I remember listening to this episode even twice, but I don't never remember Fullerton saying that. Or I never remember Corey Ballard dropping that nugget, because we're all at different levels. Okay. 7 months later since this thing's been launched. Okay. All right. Well, guys, that's it for my beautiful little sign off. Thank you so much for listening. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, whatever way you believe. I love you guys. Proud of you. Hope you guys have a safe holiday season, and we'll be right back here before you know it. All right. Well, guys, that's it from me. Let's kick it back over to the best producer in the biz.
Did any of you see that photo on Brian's Instagram of Paul Jameson supposedly on the cover of Time magazine? Now, I don't know if Brian just discovered Photoshop or that there's just an app for that, but early one morning, I don't remember which day it was, I'm half asleep, I'm in my recliner, and I just start thumbing through Insta, and honest to goodness, I spit oatmeal all over my new recliner as Paul's mug just was staring at me in the face as Time's Person of the Year. Now, the kicker is the subheading about Marty becoming one of the most popular names for babies in 2020. What really has Martha all worked up, though, is that she had told me to Scotch guard the chair, but now we have a nice little reminder of Brian's hijinks. Hey, before we hop on the sleigh or Brian gets on that new nice four-wheeler of his and start vacation, I want to remind you, go ahead and get it on the calendar, your one-on-one coaching call with Brian. Also, make sure to grab the postcard training program. If you got some time, spend a little time on the Lawntrepreneur Academy website. Just so packed, so loaded with many resources, great resources, and that residential along with commercial seasonal contract that has become so popular. Merry Christmas, everyone. And as we close out today's show, I could think of nothing better than this classic.
Everything I do turns into a disaster. I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not. For behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. Behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.